So they have some features or some milestones are there in this implementation project. Let's say this is Mr. X and who is working in ABC Private Limited as a SAP MM consultant. Okay. And now he has, let's say, 3 years or 5 years experience on the same domain. So what will happen? These ABC Private Limited or ABC organization, they have started, they're planning to do a implementation project for PQR organization. Okay. PQR organization. So this PQR organization will ask this ABC organization that can you send or uh, can you please let us know from your team who will be reaching in my place to understand the business, and based on that they will start their configuration and whatever the required thing they will perform. Okay. So from ABC organization and the very beginning stage, this ABC organization they will build a team. Okay. And in that team, if I can take a very small level project or mid-size level, so there can have only one or two project managers based upon the company's requirement or based upon the project size. Okay. So these PM or project manager, they are they are basically a expert on some specific area. Okay. So they will decide who will be the consultant for our team. Okay. So let's say for this business, they have anticipated that we need at least two SAP MM consultant. Okay. Two SD guy we need. We need one PP consultant is sufficient for this project. And let's say one technical guy or two above consultant will be there. Okay. So this is the very initial stage. The ABC organization, they will be doing this activity and they will maintain or they will build a team. Fine. Up to this option, is there any confusion? Now, the most important part is once the team will be created or team will be maintained by these ABC organization. Okay. This is service based company. Now, this is the client. Okay. Client there, PQR. So once all those consultants will be ready to move, then basically for Indian projects, if you will work as a Indian client for Indian client, then the usually you need to migrate from your place to PQR location. That means the client place. Okay. So this is type of on-site opportunity. On-site opportunity you will get if you are working with a Indian client. And if you are working with a foreign client or overseas client, in that scenario, maximum number of cases, I observe that from India or from our location, basically only one or two persons based upon the project's requirement, they will be getting this kind of opportunity for the onset. Okay. Say you have already reached out to this client location. Okay. So this client location, what will be your functionality or your activity? You will understand their business after long discussion. Okay. After long discussion with the client. Client in the sense, from the client, if we are talking about the PQR client, they will be deciding that who will be the core team member. Okay. So this is the main concept or another concept you need to understand, which is core team member. Clear? Core team member is a concept. Basically, let's say you are the SAP MM consultant and you are trying to understand their business, then who will be the responsible person who will give you all those required information about their business? Because you are not aware about their business, right? So from team or the PQR organization, they will decide that from procurement side, let's say this guy, they will be responsible. Okay. And from the SD or sales side, let's say another 2% will be there. So they will be the main concerned core team members. Okay. So once you are going to understand or you want some discussion on some specific areas or you want to understand from scratch about their business, then you should reach out to those people. Okay. Clear? And during that discussion, during that long discussion, It's completely depends upon the business size or business size basically. It can be it will take 1 month or more than that, 15 days of time, depends upon the business size or how many organization structures. That means how many plants or many uh, different type of businesses are there. So depends upon that, the discussion will take around 15 to 45 days. Okay. And during that discussion only, you will write down all those required information somewhere. Okay. You will note down something that these are the information which are required and which I'm clear, and on this particular area I need to discuss again with that core team member. Okay. So you need to write down somewhere, and once the discussion will be over, then the organization, and during the discussion only, the most important activity is org structure design. Okay. Org structure design. Org structure design. That means, let's say from last 1 month, you are getting a ton of information from the core team members, right? So after getting all those information by all different consultants from SAP MM, from SAP SD, PP, FI, all those consultants, now they are ready and they are basically understood their entire business. So what is the next step? Org structure decide. Okay. So basically, the FI consultant who will be going to maintain the first step of the org structure, which is controlling area and the company code. Okay. So they will decide. Let's say they have some different 5 different businesses. Okay. So then FI consultant will decide that do we really need 5 different company codes, or we can merge these 2 business in a single company code, and we must have some 3 different company codes for these 3. Okay. So this type of decision taken by the FI consultant. Okay. Once he will decide this, the first step of the org structure, then the SAP MM consultant's role will come into picture. Okay. Then SAP consultant will suggest or will try to figure it out that how many plants will be there. Okay. Depends upon their production plan, depends upon their uh, business. Like their business scenarios. After getting some information from their business scenarios, you need to decide, or some, let's say there is 3 or 4 people from SAP MM and along with project managers, they will decide and they will discuss with the client, and finally they will decide how many plants will be clear. End-to-end configuration, end-to-end configuration. And before that one, we need to create one BPD, right? Business process document, or BBP, which is called business blueprint, where you will be maintaining all those information which are required from the business. Fine. So after end-to-end configuration, there will be some testing. That part we know, right? Testing. Who will be going to test these things? So after end-to-end configuration, the first few testings are uh, going to perform by the consultant itself, right? Consultants, they will test by themselves. And once all those configurations, now the new thing will come. Okay. No worries. Once the consultant, they will configure at this is most important part of this project. Okay. And this concept must be required. Let's say for SAP MM consultant. Okay. This is SAP SD. This is SAP FI. I'm just taking these 3 examples. So let's say you have configured some different areas on a project. Okay. So I can assume that after the entire configuration, you will observe that they are having 27 tiers are there from your end. Okay. 27 tiers. Clear? From SD itself, there is around 30 tiers are there. From FI, let's say 45 tiers. I'm just taking these numbers only. So all those tiers must be maintained somewhere. This is called tier tracker. Fine. Why this is important? Let's say today on 10th of October, you have configured, okay, 10th of October, you have configured 5 tiers. Okay. Then again on 11th of October, some SD guy who has done some configuration, and he has also maintained 7 tiers. Okay, so this way, and the same day, 11th of October, few tiers also there. Okay, so all those tiers must be maintained somewhere because this is topmost priority. Okay, these trackers sometime few organizations they call it as Redbook. Okay, so sometime you will get some
Okay.
email or get some message from your project manager that don't forget to maintain the Redbook entry. Okay, Redbook entry in the
Yeah.
sense
Yeah.
this TR tracker is most essential. Your business will decide that we need to move all of tiers in our next system. Okay, as of now, you have configured your all configuration in, let's say this is called DS4 system. Okay, DS4 system like development S4 HANA system. Okay, so you have configured in, let's say 100 client. Okay, you know this is client number, right? And you have, this is called golden client, right? Golden client. So you have configured all of your configuration. That means all of those consultants, they have already configured their configuration in golden client only. And at the same time, you have moved your tier in, let's say, 200 client. This is another client. Client is nothing but the number only to identify a particular server. Okay. So this is the another client where you have moved your, you have uh, copied your transaction, transport request to testing from functional end, right? But at the, but after 10th of October, your team or your project manager has decided that we need to move all of our tier to the next system. This is the keyword system. If I can say it as, call it as S4, that means DS4 development S4 HANA system. It will be quality S4 HANA system. Fine. So once this tier will be moved to the QS4 system, that time tier tracker or Redbook entries are very essential. Clear? Because inside the tier tracker, you must have some sequence, right? It is called sequence. Let's say at first some FI consultant who has configured one company code. Let me draw somewhere. Let's say the tier tracker, why it should be in sequence. Sequence is very much essential. Without having a correct sequence, you will get multiple errors. Okay, sequence. Let's say your FI guy who has configured one company code. Okay, so he has created the tier one. Fine. Then you have created the second tier, the MM consultant who has created one plant. Okay, and the MM consultant who has created the tier two trade. Okay, then you have, let's say, created another tree, another tier where this is also MM consultant configuration where you have assigned that company code to plant assignment. I'm just taking just for an example, okay? TR3. So this is basically a
Yes.
sequence. This is sequence one, sequence two, sequence three. Now let's say there is no such concept of tier tracker. So what will happen? Everyone can randomly maintain somewhere. Here, let's say tier 3 will be there. He has maintained by mistake. Then tier 1, then tier 2. Okay. So what will happen? If we are sending this tier in that sequence, tier will there will be a error, right? Because in tier 3, you have configured company code to plan configuration, right? But company code tier not yet moved to the QS4. Then how this how it can be moved to the QS4 system, right? So system will throw an error message. Okay. Then you need to identify then why the error message is coming.
Tier
Yeah.
tracker, how to create this one?
Yeah.
How
Tier
to maintain
tracker.
this? A tier
Yeah.
one, tier two, tier three.
Correct. Tier 2, that means basically every organization they will be maintaining one Excel file for this one. Okay. And on the very first day, the manager will strictly instruct everyone that don't forget to maintain the TR tracker and the sequence itself. So what will happen? They will maintain 2 or 3 columns, the TR number, description, and the sequence. And you can also add status, whether it has released or not released. Clear? So once the first
Yes, yes,
tier
yes,
will be
yes.
created, description sequence will be 1, and then 2, 3, and so on.
Hmm.
Okay. Accordingly, if anyone has
Okay.
missed one sequence, then it will be a big issue. Okay. Not a big issue basically, because before moving that all those tier, basically the basis team, okay, will again cross check whether all those tiers are in a right sequence or not. Okay. Because they're having some table level concept, and they will check by themselves that whether these tiers are in a correct sequence or not. Okay. But from a functional end, you can check the TR in table level also. Okay. Let me show you in table level. So we have, let's say, if I can see in AC09, how many tiers you have created. Okay. Let's say you have forget to maintain any data in tier tracker. Okay, it is natural, right? We are doing multiple things at a
Yes.
single time, so it is very natural that any consultant who forget to maintain the tier tracker, then how you will find out your tiers? We must go inside the SE09 transactions. Okay, and once you will just click on this display option, you will see these are the list of transport requests. Okay, these are the list of transport requests which you need to maintain in your tracker. Fine. So, and you can also
Yes.
identify how many tiers are there which already been released, and how many tiers are there which are
Not
already
it.
configured, or which already maintained in system but not yet released. So what you need to perform? You just need to maintain the Excel same way, that this is the first tier, this is the second tier, and if you are forgetting to understand that which tier has been created in which date, okay, so we have a transaction which have a table level entry AC16, and sometime in very advanced level, if the interviewer will ask you in which table we can see the list of tiers, then you can say that E070 table, where we can see all those required information for about the tier. Here you can see the owner. Who is the owner? Here the owner is ECC Fund 46. As this is a user ID you just receive from the server provider, but in real time project you will see that username will be created with your name. Let's say Saurabh.adhikari. This type of name will be appeared. Okay. So that time you just need to just
Okay.
copy that particular username and just put the owner name here. And if you just click on execute, you can see all those required information related to your TR. Clear? Up to this option, if there,
Okay.
so we have
Thank you.
multiple different type of org structure we can see here. Sorry, multiple tiers we can see here. But if you want to get more clarity or more details about that tiers, here you can see there is total 38 entries, right? Total 38 entries are there.
Yeah.
But how many tiers we have? We have total 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16. Okay. So for
Last.
15, yeah,
Yeah.
this one is a release. All those tier you can see here only. Okay. If you can see that all are D, okay, but these two entries are only R. So what is the meaning of R and D? Here you can see D stands for modifiable and R stands for released.
Mhm.
Okay. So if you want to identify, no, I want to see only released one, then just click on this set filter, put the R here, and just click on OK. So what will happen? System will show you these two, but we have only one tier which is released. So why these two entries are there? Here also a catch. This is a type, right? If you just click on it, you can see W, that means
Mhm.
customizing request. Another one is queue. What is the meaning of queue? Here the queue is meaning of the queue is customizing task, right? And the very first
Task.
class,
Yeah.
we understood that every transport request will contain multiple child entries as well. Okay. This is called parent tier and this is called
Mhm.
child tier. So basically, parent tier can contain multiple child tiers here. If you want to see that what are the information already been stored inside this task. So if you just go there inside this task, you can see This is related to the company code configuration. Fine. If you want to see how many company codes has been created inside this task, it's very easy. You just click on table contents and you will see that these many entries are there already. These are basically a table entries table, not the data. Okay. If you want to see how many entries are there in T001, you can see this is a 800 client. Okay. You need to understand this under this uh,
Mhm.
thing. Okay. 800 is your client, which is indicating this configuration is stored in 800 client. Fine. And you have created
Yeah.
SRV9. This is your company code. Clear? And this is the table T001. If you want to see in table level also AC16N again, and if you just put T001 here, you can see this is related to the company codes. Fine. If you just put that
Yes.
your company code SRV9 and just click on execute, you can see these are the data which has been stored inside that particular tier. Okay, and particular table. Okay. Sometime I just want to add some advanced thing here. Sometime we are the consultant, we are facing some situation where we want to know about that. Let's say you identified this is the company code. Okay, but you really don't know who has created this company code and in which tier this company code information has been stored. Okay, in that situation there is a reverse option as well. Let me show you. This is a very advanced thing I want to share with you. This is a company code. Okay, you want to understand who has
Mhm.
created this company code and which tier is the responsible to store this information. Okay, just go there in AC16 again,
Mhm.
and if you just put here E071K, okay, this is the table. If you maintain the information here SRV9, you need to maintain inside let me quickly identify that one. Mm, One sec. Yeah, table name first of all, because SRV9 is a company code. Okay. So you need to identify that in
Mhm.
which table basically a company code information contain. Okay. And the next is
Mhm.
okay. Let me just identify this way. One sec. Object, right? This is object. Object in the sense tab key. Fine. Now do one thing. Here you just put the table name and want to understand that for SRV9 who has created this one, right? So at first you need to maintain the client
Mhm.
ID. Which client? This is the client ID you will get from here, correct? And
Mhm.
then if you want to maintain SRV9 who has created this one, you can easily identify that thing. Now you can see these are the transport requests. Okay, where this is a
Mhm.
SRV9 related information has been stored. Fine. So now you need to check.
Yeah.
Now you have a correct way to identify who has created this one. So just do one thing, just copy this one and put in E070 table. Okay. This is a E070 table. Just do one thing, just remove everything here and you need to put the transport request number. Clear? Click on exit. So what will happen? The owner name you can identify. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So this is the way you can identify from one data that who has created that particular data inside the system. And if you already know about the tier number, you can get all those required details from the E070 table. So I would say, please note down these two table and try to practice yourself that let's say I'm just try to just randomly you can take anything. Let's say just go back. I'm going here in T001 W table. You need to remember the tables details also because tables are very much important whenever you will work in a implementation projects. So that time table level knowledge is must be required. Okay. Now I just wanted to know who has created this plant. Okay. How you can identify? Let me show you
Yeah.
again on E071K table. We will go there and we must put the T001W table because this is responsible. This table is responsible for the plant information. Again, 800 is still there because 800, we are the client. We have a client number 800 here. If you just put 0001 as a
Zero.
object key or object number, you just click on execute. So you will get some information related to this plant that who has created this one in your system. So you can see these are the transport request number. I believe this 0001 is a standard one SAP has created by themselves. Although, let me quickly check in
Mhm.
table level also. So what we can do, we will just again open the E070 table, put the request
Mhm.
number, and if you want to see for this particular request, who is the owner, just I need that particular details. How you can get that? Just deselect all, select this one, and you need owner number, right?
Mhm.
So just select this one. So what will happen? System will only populate these two column. Okay. So
Yeah.
now the most essential part is the when you are sending all those configuration, that means that you're basically your basis consultant, they're moving your entire configuration from DS4 to QS4, then what will be your responsibility? Okay, so we will be understand this one